Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's MDL EU. Of course, I'm going to be Scriv. It's only going to be me this week. We're a little short on the numbers, unfortunately. And speaking of short numbers, there's also only 2 games. But of course, we've got to bring you all that action. We're going to have Sprout up against Expert first, and then it's going to be Gamer Legion up against Isaaco Boars next. But obviously, just putting that second one on hold for a little second here. We kind of got the German derby to open up, which is I think going to be really interesting, a little bit of fun. Sprout are kind of coming in with this new member as well. Keto sort of coming from Epsilon, performing pretty well for them. And Sprout recently losing Next as well. You know, they need to pick up somebody, and I think he's a really good pickup actually in the German scene. I believe he has played with some of these players before in alternate attacks, I want to say. I was reading on HLTV, and I seem to remember, but a little while ago. It has been, you know, a fair amount of time. But either way, going to be getting straight into the action here on Train. No utility brought up for Expert. It's certainly interesting. They're going to go barreling forwards, taking Favin down to 2 HP. Not quite able to finish him off. There is a kit available for Merbit, and it's looking like there will actually be a retake scenario coming in rather than just straight up fight. I'm not quite sure what the game plan is though. They find that early aggression, that early damage. Maybe if they'd have gotten the kill, they would have carried on moving forwards, but I guess it doesn't quite go their way. Certainly just going to move back towards Ivy, try and draw some attention over there. I suppose, you know, that action comes in very early on in the round. And it does mean that they have a lot of time to play with. But as that clock runs down, the CT is going to start to move forwards themselves. Merbit trying to get cheeky in Ivy, and that'll be the kill. That'll be the catalyst to spark this play here. As yet to lose a single player and opening up the A-bomb site. Favin the only one left on 2 HP. Spitty gets 1, but it's pretty much to no avail. And it looks like Expert can kill it pretty easily indeed. See whether Favin can escape though with the armor, I suppose. Always useful to have. Looking a little bit likely. I'm not quite sure though. I think he is being somewhat hunted. Gonna have to hit a crispy headshot, and he does. And he gets taken down. So there is that. But all the same, pistol for Expert is going to be a pretty good start on Train. Let's take a quick little look at the match page. I want to say this is a pretty decent match for both sides, in all honesty. Actually, Expert's it's not ideal for them looking at it. They do play it, but only a 25% win rate over 4 maps in the past few months. Meanwhile, 60% for Sprout over 10 is pretty decent, for sure. You know, it's not their best map, but it's definitely one that they are comfortable on. Having a pretty good run recently offline as well at the Charleroi event in April, sort of about a month ago now. Making it to the semi-finals, but kind of losing to the eventual winners. No, actually, they made it all the way to the final, I think, didn't they? Yeah, because Vitality and G2 played in the semi. So they made it all the way, unfortunately coming second. Kind of a little bit worse than I suppose going out in the semis, to be honest, because they felt like they could have won it. But Vitality, the final boss, unfortunately, a bit too much for them. Going to be a force buy up in this one, though. Full scouts in play. They are deadly on Train. Seeing this more and more often. Sirison going to take down Skrunk with a couple of shots. But yeah, I mean, because of that change to the loss bonus, of course, the CT side able to pull out 2, even 3 scouts if they want. And it can devastate T sides. They're playing this super smart as well. Spitty, the in-game leading voice, has dropped to scout across to Sirison so that Sirison still has money to buy the AWP up. So they're still, you know, hedging their bets on whether they're going to actually win this force buy or not. Dissipates, unfortunately, for Merbit. 2 players to deal with is a little bit too much for him. So brought back into a 4 versus 4. Still got to be careful though. Still those 2 scouts in play. Surely going to move forward. That's a little bit of a blunder on the utility. Favin, beautiful headshot from him. Goodness me, in comes Keto through the smoke as well. The new addition picking up a Galil and proving why maybe he should be on this team. 1, 2, 3. Easy cleanup for him, and Sprout going to get themselves the second round, the 4-spy round, stealing it away. Sirison super happy about that because he's very, very rich indeed now and could, in fact, pull an AWP out here if he wanted to. I think it would be a tad risky. He's going to go for it, though. All right. Got to watch out. Up against the pistols could definitely overwhelm, but that these days is a really bad situation to be in. I suppose being on the T side, getting kind of reset like that is not the end of the world. Obviously, life is cheaper on the T side of things. All the same, got to respect these deagles. The same kind of rules apply. Talking about the scouts in the previous round. Long range angles on train. There's also an AK in play as well. Good amount of utility to work with. It is certainly doable. So Sprout don't want to be getting a taste of their own medicine, that is for sure. But looking good early on. They are yet to lose anyone. You know, they've figured out, okay, there's some more presence over towards A. We're not going to be dealing with a rush to B, at least for now. And they're just playing it passively. Starting to move forwards here, though. Favin, I think, trying to get ahead of the execute, ahead of the smokes. Could work out, but he's about to get overwhelmed. 1-for-1 trade, I don't think is quite going to be good enough. It's also an M4 picked up by JDC. A bit in at health, bit of an off angle. Andy spots him out and kind of doesn't want anything to do with him, really. He's going to leave him to his own devices. Oh, through the smoke, Merbit just narrowly missing out on the opportunity to deny the bomb fight. But it's Keto again coming in with a 3K from behind. Man alive, certainly stepping things up early on here for the TT side, bailing them out of a good couple of rounds, and had been quiet in the first round, but the subsequent 2 coming afterwards, he will save the day a number of times, and certainly looking good. Again, kind of talking and reading a little bit in the pre-game, very, very recently being added. I'm not quite sure how long they have known as a team that he's going to be moving in, but all the same, you know, he has not been here for long, so working him into the team solidly is obviously a bit difficult. Seems to be doing pretty well. I would say a pretty solid CT side player all round, and Train was a pretty good map for, or is a pretty good map for Epsilon as well, so he's certainly not unfamiliar with this map pick. However, JDC going to drop him early on, singing all his praises, and he does eventually get taken down. He is mortal. Fortunately for the CT side, he's quite far back, as you can see, towards sandwich area. Doesn't really risk his weapon being picked up, and I think ultimately it should be a fairly easy cleanup. I don't want to really be losing any more players, though, to be honest. Normally we say the bare minimum of 3, but if you look at the buy, picking up 2 kills for this T side would be pretty impressive. Here they go out towards A. Maybe taking the damage. Turns back towards Ivy and goes down. There it is. Favin will spray around the corner. Spiddy, meanwhile, on the other side of things, picks up Chris K. And they will manage to survive with that bare minimum of 3. But I would say that's a lot more costly than it needed to be. If Keto doesn't go down super early on in the round, I think life is a lot easier. But we'll see now. The first official rifle round coming out a lot later than we expect them these days, thanks to the reset from Sprout. But all the same, we are going to get it here in round number 5. See what is popping. As Expert have gotten themselves an AWP in hand. Certainly interesting. Going really quick down Ivy here, just barreling forwards ultimately. A lot of nade damage from Merbit. Also a bit onto Scrunk early on, I believe, as well. So about a kill and a half worth of damage being done. Great little flash in, though, to open things up. Keto and Spiddy, however, are still here on the A site, still doing damage. They will lose a couple in the process, but keeping the man advantage in their favor. Andy and Scrunk now going to try and recover things back. Keto, low HP indeed, tries to go for the jump across and gets taken down. The one thing that they've got going for them on the CT side is the fact that the bomb is kind of in no man's land. Don't really have control of it on the CT side, though. I don't even know if they're aware of the fact that it's been dropped here. As you can see, the defense is pretty split. And they're preparing for a B play. Ooh. Bit awkward from Skrunk. Look at these enemies all around. Sirison on the flank, meanwhile, with the AWP. What's he doing that for? And another flank from Andy. The flanking AWPers. Doing what they like. 1 versus 1 coming in then. Spiddy on half HP. Doesn't really matter. Gets spotted out. A jumping shot from Andy. Hopeful. Swaps across to the AK. Not really feeling it on the AWP. And the wide peak wins it. Second round for Expert. Picking up the first official gun round. First proper gun round of this half. And it's close. But the money for Sprout not really going to be solid. So they're going to force down, primarily because Sirison, thanks to his kind of earlier eco choice, is able to get an AWP out, and they are putting a lot of trust in him. He definitely is a key part of this Sprout team. If he's not performing well, I think it's a large part of their win condition that goes out the window. They rely so heavily on that AWP. Honestly, on the team side as well. Great little flash in towards team mid, but Chris K makes quick work, makes sure they keep the man advantage. Levy finds all 3 in the end. Double spray down from Mibit though. Oh, and a third. All right. Skrunk gets taken down. And off the back of the force buy, they completely catch Sprout off guard. Catch Expert off guard, rather. And Sprout, just out of nowhere, are able to secure the round. Mibit with his AUG that I didn't really notice he was able to buy up. He must have bought it and dropped it, I guess, at the start of the round. But nonetheless, really good stuff coming in, and Expert are thrown for a loop. Their economy now as well not looking too good, but instead of going for a risky force buy, they're going to play it safe, taking a hard eco, nothing bought at all. Maybe, just maybe, going to try and get a bomb plant. There is certainly an argument to be made that you can kind of just meat shield the bomb towards B and get that plant at default. Definitely easier said than done, though, when you literally have nothing to work with. Complete throwaway round, then. Keto going to pick up 2. UMP paying for itself. Spiddy holding here, predicting the eco, or the half buy. So he at the very least would match their buy, or saved by Sirison as well. Clean stuff, though, from Sprout, picking up the 5th, as we would expect. I mean, I don't know. I've been watching CS for a while. I don't think T-sides win those rounds like 99.5% of the time. It's got to be that the CT side will win a round like that. The USPs, I think they have a slightly higher chance just because of the range, but the Glocks don't have that. So getting glocked is super embarrassing, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. Aggression coming in here from Favin. Oh, and just goes straight in for the peak. All right. Clean headshot for him. Drops Skrunk. They will return towards Ivy, though. Favin is kind of ready for this, playing the off angle. Are they expecting freeze? They're not really dink for dink. Not ideal. Preet will win the spray down against Keto. It's not even a dink, in fact. So Keto kind of whiffing it after the first bullet. Andy, his barrel is spotted through the smoke. Favin trying to find another. They've got 2 coming in on the flank here as well. They're really unsure of this, and the timing for JDC doesn't quite work out. He doesn't quick switch fast enough. A missed shot from Chris K. He'll go down easily enough, and that will be the round as Favin finds the final kill. Sprout with a very quick one. Building up a bit of cash now on this CT side. 6 rounds for them. It is obviously a CT side of map, and I feel like in the league play of MDL, as is often the case, we're not going to see so much nuke. So I would say probably one of the, the most CT side of map that we're going to see more often than not, to be honest. Who knows? With Vertigo coming in, maybe there is a chance. But as far as I'm aware, FM Pone seems to have finished reworking cash. He posted on his Twitter a bit earlier. Ooh. Nice shot from Skrunk. Picks up an AWP as well. Got to be careful here on the CT side not to give him any more frags. Holding a bit of an off angle. Oh, but just peeks away at the wrong time, and Spiddy will take him down. That is a bit of a shame. The FOV, of course, of the scope is limited. Preet is here to retrieve the AWP, though, so it's still going to have it. And there is an argument to be made, saving this into the next round. Even though you don't get that loss bonus, it's not really the end of the world. Great little utility play from Favin. Really good stuff from him. Love to see it. And a 4 versus 3 ensues. 4 versus 2 ensues in favor of the CT side. Maybe going to peek out. Drops that AWP like it's nothing. And JDC now the only one left. I think they're aware the AWP is in here as well. Just got to be a bit careful. Gets tagged up and finished off easily by Keto. It will be the 7th round for Sprout. Again, winning these anti-eco kind of rounds pretty easily. And Expert, this is really the point where they need to be picking some rounds up, because otherwise Sprout are quite easily going to get to double digits sooner rather than later, which obviously they want it to be later rather than sooner, I suppose. But nonetheless, Expert are really far behind, and they're going to go even further behind. It's just getting worse and worse. If they lose this one, could really be a decider of the game. You never know. I think Sprout, like I say, are a good train team. Not adverse to playing the T side of it either. No one around in A main. They're going to find that information pretty quickly. Fabian over at B. The double AWP setup coming in here and paying dividends. Keto, meanwhile, catches Strunk completely off guard. And now the T's have got to readjust. They've got to change their minds, their game plan. Moving away from B, down Pop Dog. Altogether, I believe, indeed. All 3 of them going to be in there. Sirison vehemently playing contact, finds the first. And is able to back away pretty easily. Flashbang does not quite meet its mark. You got to shoot the window out first, my guy. But all the same, 5 versus 2. I think even if the flash had gone down, it's not really going to make too much of a difference. Another shot from Sirison lands. And Andy now the only one left. Oh, another one lands from Sirison, but not quite going to be able to find the kill. Tag for tag here. This nade surely got to finish him off. Goes straight through the window. Faven, beautiful stuff. Will take down Andy, and an 8th round comes in for Sprout. A little bit too easily, if you ask me, but all the same. Sprout continue to extend their lead. I think... Okay. I was going to say, I think going to go a little further because we might be looking at kind of a half buy here just because of how poor Andy is, but they kind of go straight in with it. Utility lacking in places. It's definitely workable, to be fair. I thought it would be a lot worse than this, but the loss bonus, I guess, stacking up now, of course. T-side a bit cheaper. So, there is that argument to be made. So much utility damage done early, though, by the CT side. They just know their timings of this map so very well. An Expert, unfortunately, don't. I think they do play the map individually, right? It's been out for a while. They know the map, but I think the team is not quite clear cut. Chris K going to get a cheeky one on the trade. Still 4 versus 4 and a fair amount of information for the CT side, though, in sacrificing that player at Ivy. But again, it happens so very early on in the round that Expert are just able to keep the CTs guessing, but going for some solo peaks, it would appear, not working out at all. Sirison spots out another, changes his angle. The levels are too hard for Preet to deal with, and now they know Chris K is down here as well. Start moving in. 3 players to get past. We'll get 1. We'll get a 2nd, but not ready for the 3rd. And the 9th comes in for Sprout, again, fending off against another buy. It's a fairly costly one. We're going to see a pause coming in. I'd imagine the tack pause from Expert, but I think it's kind of too little too late, if I'm honest, boys. This is not looking too good. Sprout, very possible if it continues the way that it's been going, very possible for them to get the 13-2 half, honestly. Can definitely see them doing it. We'll see, though. Getting back into play. This is surely a half-buy round, or are they going to hard eco it? A few upgraded pistols, maybe? Alright, we are going to see them buy something, but they do it... I mean, that's what freeze time's for, guys. You buy up in freeze time. Whatever. It's all good. They'll have a couple flashbangs available, a bit of armor dotted about. Some deagles, got to be careful of those. But ultimately, Sprout should have an easy time of things. Going to look to burst out towards A. Keto has been playing so well from that E-box area. Picks up 2 in this round before getting taken down. Another one coming in for the CT side. Sirison got to be careful not to lose his AWP, and he will actually do so. JDC the only one left now. Picked up 2. Oh, not quite able to get the spin around. If you'd have found that one, I would have started to believe, in all honesty. With the armor on his back and picking up those first 2 kills, you know, HP free, as it were, not costing him anything. It did look slightly doable. They certainly do have the individuals on the expert side. I just think Train is not as good a map for them as it is for Sprout, ultimately, as we're seeing. I just think they're not very comfortable on it. But that's kind of what the league plays for. You know, you practice, you work on some executes, work on your overall gameplay. Maybe if they'd have started on the CT side, it would have been a different story. But, yeah, tough one. What the hell's going on? What? Where was he looking? I swear I've never seen that. Was he, like, looking at a wall? I don't even know. I'm completely caught off guard. That was so weird. But they managed to pick up a quick 2k. One will be traded back by the T side, but again, it's an early advantage for Sprout. Very, very pick-based CS at the moment. Oh, Keto. Gonna find one here from Heaven, a second as well. Been playing so well on this org. I'm kind of thinking the spot that he was looking at is maybe up in Heaven. I've just never noticed it before, because I think he was playing anti-flash or something. Either way, they lose a couple, but ultimately Sprout, once again, surviving with the bare minimum of 3. It continues to be decisive. Feels like we only started the game a quarter of an hour ago, and we're already towards the end of the first half. It's been a very, very fast turn of affairs. Gonna go for the buy-up into this one, but again, it's not really ideal, lacking utility in places. They've got the AWP in the hands of Andy. Not really been winning the fight against Faven or against Sirison. That double AWP setup of Sprout has been a real thorn in the side of Expert. Can they deny the 13-2? 11-4 at best. And again, it's certainly a workable buy, but it has, you know, the economy game has certainly been difficult. It's plagued them a little bit in places, as you would expect when you're behind like this, but ultimately it's just been the team play, the crossfires, the individuals. I mean, Keto's 17-8. But everybody else is on double-digit frags. Not like he's kind of carrying things, but the new addition seems to be fitting in quite well. Faven going to take down Scrunk early on. Fairly easy. Before him on, Keto, perfect timing. Peeks up. Must have heard them or something. They tried to work on the double drop, and that just kind of sums it up. If you're ready for Train, you've got that double 2-man drop into Pop Dog. You got it perfect, but that was anything but perfect. You meant to fall down as well. They were just kind of chilling on the ladder for a bit. Not really ideal at all. Ooh, nice little T-side flash, but not quite able to capitalize. The confidence not quite there. JDC goes down. A flawless round coming in. Sprout, the trend continues. They are looking unstoppable right now. Can Keto hit the 20 frags in one half? Maybe. We'll see. Like I say, I don't know. I've not seen a great deal of Expert, I'm going to be honest. I think they play a lot. Obviously, they're in MDL here, and they do play a fair amount in German leagues and things. But kind of in sort of random Tier 3 online tournament, you don't see a great deal of them. So they're a little bit harder to read. Maybe that's something, maybe they do need to be playing a bit more CS, who knows. Clean little headshot onto Keto, and Chris K going to take down Merbit. Okay, here we go. Couple openers for the T side this time around. Let's see how the CTs react when they are on the back foot. 2 AWPs left in play as well is not really ideal if the bomb goes down. Andy waiting here as he knows someone's got to be proactive. The smoke has been kicked. It will roll through, and he gets an inkling someone is coming. He needs to pick up for him, and looking very good here. Almost the team ace. Can JDC find the final piece of the puzzle? Obviously, the final round of the half. Sirison, although the money is out of control, he would love to save, but he can't. The round's going to go straight around the corner and gets taken down. So a third round for Sprout. For Expert, sorry. I'm losing it, but all the same. It's just... I don't... Yeah. It's not great. It's not great. The Expert T side is a bit all over the place, to say the least. see. Maybe that final round sparks something here. Maybe coming into the second half they can pick it up on the CT side. But I'm not hugely hopeful. It is a hell of a hill to climb. Maybe they can pull something off, but it's going to be difficult. I think Sprout's T side is pretty good on train, if I'm honest. Hopefully we won't be waiting too much longer to get back into the action then. Yeah, I don't know, man. This German derby is not quite living up to the hype, to be honest. And Expert, I think it ultimately is the map. I think they are a relatively decent-ish side that can compete against Sprout in an online setting, but just not on this. They're just not confident enough on train. And again, just not really getting a true grasp on the economy. Kind of a little bit slow to react in places. Has been a bit all over the place, to say the least. Alright, here we go. They will eventually ready up. Did take an awful lot of time, but it seems Expert, you know, wanting to talk things over, use as much time as they've got available to them. Try and work things out. Pistol, you know what I'm going to say. Expert are requiring this. It's got a hell of a lot of weight, but goes completely without saying for sure. I mean, they just need rounds at this point. It doesn't matter how scrappy they are, how difficult they are, whether it needs someone to step up. They just need the rounds. Because this game really, really looking scary, especially if Sprout are able to get off to a good start on this T side. I think it could be over in relatively quick fashion. Sprout just playing the default, waiting, see if anybody's going to get aggressive, but not really coming, not really happening so far. CT's definitely respecting their opponents. Favin on this P250, the raid boss, in fact, on this P250 in armor. Seeing this more and more. It used to be the Tech 9 back in the day for, you know, your rush plays, but now it's more the P250 to fight at long range, especially on a map like Train. You know, you want to be nullifying that advantage that the USPs have with the range game initially. And again, something I have been talking about a hell of a lot. I think it's got to be the past 6 months, maybe not even that. So many teams now, even, you know, trickling down into this kind of lower level, are picking up 2 players with utility on the T side of things, just to make life a bit more interesting. Here we go then, the B hit going to be coming through. Spiddy not throwing the smoke down, certainly interesting. It allows Breek to pick up 2. Andy as well is finding the heads on the USP, and just kind of begs the question. I get that you've got the 1 P250, but facing with 3 or 4 players towards Connector is a little overconfident against the USPs. They will pay the ultimate price for it as well. It will end up being the round going almost flawlessly in favor of Expert. 3k coming in from Andy. He's been fragging all right, especially after that one. Gets up to 12. Not bad at all, considering you've only got 4 rounds. No bomb plant, though, for Sprout. Probably going to look to eco and go straight into the rifle round after this. So keeping the pressure on their opponents. Going to try and get a bomb plant. As I talked about in the first half, the meat shield in towards B is definitely a viable strategy, but Preet's playing well. Close to personal with the MP9, looking to deny it. In comes Andy as well. Actually picking up more kills than Preet there, but if they play passively, then those Glocks can probably get past, right? If there's maybe an AUG watching it, it's like, you know, even if he kills the guy with the bomb, there's so many players around, someone's going to retrieve it, and he has to kill everybody. But Preet kind of recognizes the fact that they might go for a play like that, plays up close, Molotov initially, you know, splits the team, obviously does some passive damage, and then the MP9 to just mow them down. That's how you play anti-eco, pretty much, and completely denying the bomb plant as well. It's pretty ideal. It would have allowed Searson, I think, to pull out an AWP here. And obviously would have made the utility a little bit safer. very early on in the round then, they're going to go for the utility plate. On top of the site is JDC. Able to pick up one. And Sprout, I think, a little bit disrespectful so far early on in this second half, just because of how far ahead they are. They've got to be careful. They will trade back JDC, but Sirison left on 20, Keto on 64. Not really ideal. Andy creeping in as well. Going to find one on the MP9. This is a bonus buy from the CT side, and a bonus buy that is working out perfectly. 4 versus 2 ensues. Spitty and Merbit, though, getting it done, and this is where maybe the weaker weaponry will begin to cost them. Spitty brings it down to a 2 versus 1. Reload's getting off. Tap on towards the bomb from Skrunk, but they ain't buying. He will try and push forward. Gets taken down. It's a 4 versus 2 secured by Sprout, and that's where... I mean, going for the bonus buy, I can kind of respect it, you know, have some SMGs in there, but everybody being on SMGs, it really does limit you, as you saw. And a guy sticking on the scout is absolutely useless in the retake, to be honest, folks. So, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's overconfidence. I think it's a little bit of a blunder. Maybe just not communicating properly that someone should pick up a rifle here. Someone should at least have an AUG, watch a long-range angle. You know, because SMGs for Pop Dog and in and around the site, if you're just hiding initially, it works. B towards ramp, they can work, right? But I don't know, it's kind of... Sure, you get the buyout in this round because of the fact that you spent nothing in the last round, but it's another round for Sprout. They get closer and closer to winning this. Playing this round a bit more methodical, though. Nice and slow. Ooh, Skrunk, the timing really not working out for him there as he pushes forwards. Merbit going to peek around, takes him down with the MAC-10. Don't think he had any head armor, so a pretty easy cleanup. 2 players holding towards Ivy, ready for this push. There is a smoke in the way, but they want to go barreling on through. Sirison's moved forwards. He's actually in towards CT spawn almost. They have no idea, it would seem. Maybe they do have some idea. He was making a fair amount of noise, but it doesn't look like it. He's going to wrap up behind from Old Bomb. Finds 1 and 2 easily enough. Holding connector as well. Will get taken down by Andy, but done the damage for the round. 4 versus 2. CTs don't want anything to do with it. They're going to look to save. It's a 14th for Sprout. They are edging, again, ever closer to that 15-round mark. And then obviously the 16-round mark to follow. It's not looking too good at all for Expert, in all honesty. Started off well, but again, once the rifles have come out into play, kind of fallen apart. Yeah, I mean, who knows? At this point, it's kind of... They could pick up some rounds. They could, you know, get some consolation rounds so that it looks slightly less worse. But at this point, I don't think many of us are believing in the comeback yet. And he's doing all right, though. He's doing all right. You got to hand it to him. 17 frags. Makes him the second highest fragger on the server, so... 5 rounds. It's a bit frustrating, isn't it, when your scoreline looks like that, and, you know, just kind of shows, boys and girls, that play matchmaking, that play pugs and whatnot. Not all about the frags. It's about the impact of said frags. Either way, we'll see. Can they make this week by work a Deagle and 2 MP9s alongside the saved AWP and AUG? Not ideal. Fair amount of utility. No kits, and Andy's got 900 in his pockets, so I'm not quite sure what that's about. Sure, I understand the retake's going to be difficult anyway, just because of the weaker weaponry that you've got, but it could come down to the defuse, and you've got no excuse, really. They have early aggression here from Skrunk, actually all the way in towards the dumpster. So they had no IV pressure at all early on. Molotov will push him out of position. He does a fair amount of nade damage, but not able to find the frag. That's where Sprout come out on top. Andy is flashed off the angle, but wanting to face again, and you've got to respect it. Another kill for him, the 18th frag overall. will be brought back into a 4 versus 4. So at least keeping things relatively even. Priest is nades out, one crossed onto site. He will drop the bomb, though. Keto goes down, gets stuck on the nade, and then eventually sprayed down. Hits Fabin moving forwards, though. Drops Pre. Drops back. And waits for his teammates. Chris K on the D. Not ideal. Oh, JDC, though. This flank is huge. Spitty and Sirison both going to go down. He also finds Fabin. Beautiful spray transfer. And that'll be the 6th round off the back of a hero play coming in for Expert. Kind of out of nowhere as well. Really good stuff coming in. This is the issue, though. I feel like this will be a Sprout pause, and so far ahead that they can just kind of, rest on their laurels a little bit if they want to. Would be difficult to buy up into this one, I think, with Merbit and Sirison being a bit poorer, but they're going to go for it. All right, they've got ideas. Again, so far ahead, you might as well try and force the issue at the end of the day. So here we go. Back into the action. It's actually a double AWP setup from the CT side. So that is going to make pretty heavy difference. Something new for Sprout to deal with. This early Molotov from Skrunk as well. Once again, going to deny that Ivy pressure of Sprout. It's something that I've seen a lot of CT sides recently getting more and more confident towards Ivy. However, I believe they... Oh, they actually didn't smoke it off. Okay, I was going to say I believe they smoked it off. Didn't hear an AWP shot ring off when they jumped across. And Skrunk just kind of stuck in place. His abdomen kind of sticking out a little bit. Will get taken down. Things not looking so good now. A couple of shots coming in from Sprout. It's kind of being kept interesting, but ultimately down to a 2 versus 2. Oh, okay. Chris K has brought it back. Oh, Sirison gets tagged up as well, narrowly missing out on the flick. Trying his best to move in here. The Molotov going to push Chris out of position. He gets melted by it. And it'll be a 4K for Sirison to kind of save the day, to be honest. Another hero play attempt from Expert. Not quite as successful this time around. And that's the issue. You keep knocking on the door. Sprout are eventually going to get through. Hit the match point. They've got 9 rounds to play with now as well. Should easily be able to clean things up here. This buy is pretty dire from Expert 2, so going to be difficult. Rushing straight forward. Keto picks up 2. They do manage to trade them back, but Sirison's also there in tow. Finds a quick 2K over at B. That'll be the B bomb site open. It looks like that might just be it. Skrunk, what can you do? He's got a flash. He's got a deagle. He's got a dream. Start to move in from connector. He's a little late here. He's unsure if anybody's around. Is aptly named Lambo Deagle. I'd imagine Lamborghini Deagle is maybe what he's going for. Oh, and as soon as he peeks around, Sirison takes it down. Doesn't even get a chance to ring off a shot. And that will be it. 16 to 6. Pretty one-sided affair. I kind of thought it would end up going that way. I think it could have been a different story if we started off on the T side, on the CT side for Expert. But their T side just needs a lot of work. It was very broken, to be honest, and just round after round, it seemed they would lose the advantage. It was pretty easy for Sprout to find early picks. And we saw a couple rounds towards the end where Expert actually got those opening picks in their favor, and suddenly they were able to take the game. So, take the round, rather. So, I mean, it's kind of difficult. Go away and work on that. Train, obviously, is a map that I think they don't often play, and they know that, so they're not as confident on it. But, and we saw the attempt at the 2-man drop down pop dog that failed massively. But I think Sprout at the moment are kind of a final boss for a lot of teams at this level. Sprout are looking so good. Keto stepping in, playing really well there as well. And I think it's really going to move them up. He's this new young gun. Could continue to kind of expand their horizons, as it were. But that is going to be it for a little while. We will, of course, be coming back in around probably 10 to 15 minutes time, hoping that that game gets started a bit quicker. Of course, unfortunately, with that one being so quick, we are going to have to wait, but it's going to be the Isaac Balls up against Gamer Legion. Do be sure to join us in just a few moments' time.